Today I want to share with you 5 different crypto coins that I feel have massive potential into 2024. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, nor can I see the future, and because Bitcoin is the market mover, if BTC crashes, that does tend to bring the whole market down with it, so just understand the risk before investing. But with the Bitcoin halving 2024 happening next year, which does tend to have huge implications on the price, as well as US presidential candidates now more than ever supporting Bitcoin in next year's presidential election.
Officially, my campaign is accepting Bitcoin.
Coin number 6 on today's list is Bitcoin, as it's not just Robert Kennedy Jr. anymore. It's also US presidential candidate Francis Suarez, he's the Miami mayor, now running, enables crypto campaign contributions.
And donate as little as 0.000034 of a Bitcoin, which roughly is the equivalent of a US dollar. So, but of course I denominate it in Bitcoin, not in dollar. So look, I think it's a watershed moment for the country to have a candidate who gets their public sector salary paid in Bitcoin and has actually borrowed money against that Bitcoin account, creating more utility for Bitcoin and showing that it is an asset that has value, that has utility. And this is a process of developing technologies that are going to create democratizing opportunities for wealth creation and are not manipulated by human beings that have ulterior motives, political goals, etc.
Coming in at number 4, Cardano. Now, Cardano is a dApp platform, meaning developers can build on it, build applications that are decentralized. Think of it as one of the main competitors to Ethereum, only with Cardano being much more scalable. And just looking at the numbers, Cardano's average daily dApp transactions have increased for the 3rd consecutive quarter, reaching now over 57,000 transactions per day. So Cardano, the network, quarter over quarter over quarter, against itself, we're seeing the growth, and against Ethereum, when it comes to the development activity, when comparing Cardano's dev activity to Ethereum, Cardano's GitHub repository boasts 3 times the development activity, and yes, we can see a clear difference. But Austin, then why is price still so low?
Unfortunately, 8 of 30 cents is better than 3. It's all about money with you people. You just magically believe you get to a certain price point, and then everything in life gets great. Everything is incredible. And you ask yourself, like, what's the point of it? This is an ecosystem that's giving decentralized governance to the masses, a voice back to people, economic agency and identity to people. It's giving people a safe place where they can do business and commerce without fear of censorship and deplatforming. And also honesty. When you upload something, what you see is what you get. It's transparent. And you're going to compress that whole thing down to a number because you're in and out, number go up, you get out, and then you think magically your life is going to be great. Would your life be great if you lived in a dictatorship? Would your life be great if at any given time your bank account could be shut down? Would your life be great if you can be fired for your job for having the wrong opinions? You live in constant fear that somebody's going to basically gulag you. It's a lived reality right now for billions of people, especially the Chinese who are now living under the People's Bank of China, rolling out the digital yuan with social credit connected to it. Tell me, how magical is it to be Jack Ma right now? $20+ billion, and suddenly he's learning Taoist poetry in exile, and his whole empire dismantled because he said the wrong things about the wrong people. It's not about the money. At its core, it's always about your rights, your freedoms, and what it means to be human. And if you can't see that, I don't think you understand the point of cryptocurrency.
Coin number 3 is Ethereum, and the reason is because of a little upgrade called EIP, Ethereum Improvement Proposal 4337. This is the biggest thing to happen to Ethereum since EIP 1559 was introduced. With EIP 1559, a little bit of Ethereum was burned now with every single transaction, meaning the more activity on the network, the more ETH would get burned from the network. As of today, 3.5 million Ethereum have been burned, roughly around $6.5 billion. This is 2 years after Ethereum's EIP 1559 was introduced. Well, what EIP 1559 did for ETH's tokenomics, this Ethereum improvement proposal is just as big for adoption for UX UI. This upgrade is also known as account abstraction. And to explain just how big this is, here is one of the leadership of BICO speaking at ETH Global Paris on the problems that account abstraction solve.
So how can we actually improve the Web3 user experience? In comes account abstraction, EIP 4337, which you'll see on my shirt. If I were to try to bring my mom into using a DeFi protocol, she would have no idea what to do. She would have no idea how to onboard herself onto a wallet, go to an exchange, get some funds, transfer them over to the EOA, and then go and finally, at that point, start to interact with a dApp. And this is the exact set of steps that every single person who is not native to Web3 needs to go through before they actually even use your dApp. If you're trying to actually get users for your dApp, which is probably something you should do if you're building something, get users, make it as easy as possible for them to do so.
So this improves the UX UI of crypto. And just to get a basic definition of what account abstraction is.
You can define it as the ability to add arbitrary logic to the process of validating a transaction. The main thing you want to ask yourself is, how do I want to authenticate a transaction? What additional logic do I want to add on top of it? That's kind of like the most basic way of thinking about account abstraction. Just taking a transaction and figuring out what else you can add before you validate or let it actually go through.
And let me explain this even simpler. This can turn regular crypto wallets into smart crypto wallets, meaning a more personalized DeFi experience with custom logic that you program, you control. And how will this affect you and me? Well, here are the 4 different use cases that's going to absolutely change the game for DeFi. Number 1 use case, permissioned controls. So here is what Ethereum has now. Here will be the improvement. But right now, one private key grants full control to everything. So very limited, and also if you lose access to that one private key, you're screwed. With account abstraction, the user can define a list of tiered permission levels. For example, require 3 out of 5 signers to approve a transaction. So you can have your main key, but then also you can grant access to guardian keys. Users can add guardians to their wallet as a protection mechanism. So for example, if you lose your key, you can have maybe 4 out of the 5 guardians need to come together to give you access again. I've heard this described as the forgot your password feature that we don't really have in DeFi. We now have something, a decentralized version of it. Use case number 2, batch transactions. This is huge because right now, each individual action in your wallet requires a separate signature. So batching transactions together will make DeFi much more seamless and also solve the gas fee issue. Because right now with Ethereum, for example, in order to do anything, you need to have a little bit of ETH already in your wallet to pay for the gas. Batch transactions allow you to pay for those gas fees with those other tokens seamlessly. They'll transfer it to ETH, handle the gas fee under the hood without the user having to deal. Use case number 3, account recovery, because right now, a loss or exposure of a private key means full loss of control over your wallet. With this, the average person, maybe somebody's grandma, for example, they don't necessarily have to worry about the private key. You can access your wallet with your unique fingerprint or your unique Face ID. So again, what EIP 1559 did for ETH's tokenomics, EIP 4337 will be huge for UX, UI, and bringing adoption of average people to DeFi. So that's why Ethereum today makes our list at number 3, and BICO makes our list at number 2. With BICO, users can build seamless dApps with account abstraction powered by BICO's SDK. So this is a full stack toolkit.
To actually leverage account abstraction, you probably don't want to code out all those contracts yourself, build out all those services yourselves. So we give you a solution in the form of the BICO SDK.
It makes Ethereum accessible to everyone. And coming in at number 1, Avalanche. The Avalanche blockchain usage grew in the second quarter. The Avalanche C-chain saw daily active addresses and transaction volume, 2 important metrics to gauge a blockchain's health, increased significantly in this period. So in the last 3 months, daily transactions on Avalanche's C-chain, which is an implementation of the Ethereum virtual machine, so it's compatible with ETH, Avalanche ETH, grew to just under 500,000 from roughly 200,000, so more than doubled. And in terms of who's building, we can look to the Avalanche Vista program and see how this initiative is about to support a huge range of different assets.
Avalanche Vista, like you mentioned, is a program that was launched by the Avalanche Foundation, where the idea would be to allocate up to $50 million over a strategic and longer term period of time to buy tokenized assets that are tokenized on Avalanche. These assets could and will span the spectrum in terms of asset type, as well as liquidity type, as well as maturity type. So I think everything will be considered, from stable coins to commodities to other financial assets, private equity, credit, infrastructure, real estate.
If you want to stay updated on these projects and stay informed on the crypto market, click subscribe. And like always, see you tomorrow.